Hey folks, how you all doing? Take 5, because I have literally stuffed up every time I've tried to do this. Um, anyway, hi folks, how you going? Lloyd here, or Mr. Hats as I'm known in the VC. So today I'm going to do a rankings video. It's a partial rankings video. I don't like doing long videos anymore. I'll try not to. David Bowie, studio rankings, albums ranking. So 25 studio albums, pretty much. I've decided to split it in half. The first half is this one, which is going to rank his albums from 1969's David Bowie's Space Oddity album through to the end of the 1970s, which is Lodger. I'm then going to continue another video and rank 1980 Scary Monsters and Super Creeps right through to Black Star in 2016. That one will have 13 videos in it. Not counting movie soundtrack things or the Tin Machine albums, just the pure David Bowie albums. So let's go. We'll start off here. Number 12 on my list in this first part of the video. We are going to have an album that most people would probably put last. Pin-Ups, David Bowie. Just not a fan of covers albums. I like cover songs. I just don't like entire albums of covers. Worst of all, people that do covers albums of an entire artist. Thankfully this one isn't all of one artist, but there's still nothing I like on this album except for the huge hit Sorrow. That song was really written for David Bowie in my opinion. Suits his voice, suits his style, suits his technique. David Bowie should not do cover versions anyway, because he just basically copies and pastes them and he doesn't put his own style into them, so he's not being David Bowie, and that just doesn't work for me. Apart from Sorrow, hate everything on this album. This one comes in at a pretty low 2 out of 10. Don't worry folks, there's only 3 albums from this whole period that I don't like. The rest I either like or love, so don't fret yourselves over me disliking these first 2 or 3. So next album, number 11 on my list, 1969. We have David Bowie / Space Oddity. Blues Rock in Places. It's still underwhelming, even though it really is his first real international record. It's an underwhelming album apart from the title track Space Oddity. Sounds like he's trying to find his style. That is not a detriment to David Bowie. All artists have to find their style. You hear it in every artist who has an extended back catalogue that they just struggle sometimes with their early stuff as they're trying to find their style, their sound. So yeah, I'm really not going to hold that against this album. I understand that he's trying to be himself and find where he stands and sounds in his little niche in the music industry. As I said, David Bowie, Space Oddity is the best song by far on this album. Don't really like anything else. 3 out of 10 for that one. Number 10 on my list, we go to Young Americans. This is his soul R&B album. Again, he's not trying to be David Bowie, and that's why this album fails for me. He's trying to be a soul singer, an R&B singer, get onto the disco dance craze basically that was going in the clubs in America at the time. It sounds forced, it sounds plastic, and to be honest with you, the title track Young Americans is the only thing on here I not only like, but I absolutely love it. And whoever told him to record Across the Universe needs their head read basically, or a bullet, because absolutely terrible. He should never have covered that song. The album might have been a better effort without it actually, but 4 out of 10 for this album from me. Number 9 on my list, we're going to go to, I think it's 1970, is it? I think it's 1970. Could be wrong with the year, but The Man Who Sold the World. Lots of blues rock on here, touches of psychedelic rock as well. I can sort of hear early Black Sabbath in the music. It's quite heavy at times with that hint of psychedelic blues rock as well. Love the abstract lyrics. That is the one thing this album does have going for it. It's very abstract sounding lyrics. So he's finding his sound, he's finding his niche lyric wise. It's just the music he needs to sort himself out with this one. Look, there's nothing really to not like on this album. It's a likable album, but there's still only one track that I love, and that is the title track, "The Man Who Sold the World." Um, I do love Nirvana's version, the MTV Unplugged, more than I like David Bowie's version, admittedly. But his comes second. Lulu's comes a close third. Her version she released a couple of years after this, I think. But yeah, still a good album. Comes in at 6.5 out of 10 for me. Number 8 on my list, the first WTF moment for a lot of people. A lot of people have this album at number 1. I don't. I have it at number 8. And it is Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. The album's good. There's nothing bad on it. There are 4 standout tracks for me. 5 Years, what a great album opener. Absolutely brilliant. You got the incredible Starman. You got Suffragette City. You got the title track Ziggy Stardust. The problem I have with this album, even though I like all the songs, is that it sounds dated. It sounds stuck in 1972, is it, when it was released? It just sounds stuck there and dated. Like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, good album. It just sounds stuck in that time warp of 1967. And this is the fault with this album, in my opinion. It's stuck in that little era there. But it still comes in at 6.5 out of 10 for me. Next up, sorry Mike Grogan, Mr. PC31, you're about to fall off your chair, mate, because your favourite David Bowie album of all time is only my 7th favourite album in that first decade. It wouldn't even make the top probably 15 out of 25 in his entire career for me. But there you are, we have Diamond Dogs. Again, the fault with this album is that it's stuck in 1974 for me. It just hasn't aged well. There's nothing bad on the album. Again, there are 3 great songs. The title track, Diamond Dogs, Rebel Rebel, and 1984. But the songs I do like are slightly better than the ones on Ziggy Stardust, which is why this one is ahead of Ziggy Stardust. I like the flow of the songs. I like the sound of them. David Bowie actually plays lead guitar throughout this album. I think I've got that right, haven't I, Mike? I hope I have, otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. But apart from that, yeah, it just sounds a bit dated for me. This is really not my era of David Bowie. I think he was a great singles guy back then, in them early to mid up till 1974, but these albums didn't really develop until after that, in my opinion. But it still comes in at a pretty cool 7 out of 10. Number 6 on my list. Well, this is an early album anyway. Hunky Dory. In my opinion, side 1 of the vinyl is a near perfect side, in my opinion. It just gets let down slightly on side 2 with Song for Bob Dylan, and the only song on the album I can't stand, Bellaway Brothers. Tracks like Changes, Oh You Pretty Things, Life on Mars, and Kooks from side 1 are just sheer genius. Kooks is one of those it took me a long while to get into, but once I did, I really loved it. So yeah, the first half of the album is just sheer brilliance. The second half, as I said, is just let down slightly, but it's still a great album. I love this album. 8 out of 10. At number 5 on my list, haven't even got the release date here. It doesn't matter anyway. David Bowie fans will know. But excuse me, I have Aladdin Sane, one of the most iconic and most recognisable album covers of all time, for sure. Up there with Sgt. Pepper's, Abbey Road, Dark Side of the Moon, etc. Yeah, it's just absolutely great album cover. Musically, it's probably not as good as Hunky Dory, and yet you're going to be scratching your head going, well, why is it in front of Hunky Dory in the ratings? Well, it's because this album has a charm about it. Songs like Cracked Actor, Time, Prettiest Star, and Lady Grinning Soul aren't up there with the rest of the album. They're slightly lower and weaker songs than what's on Hunky Dory, but they have a charm. They have a thing about them. That's all I can say. And even though they are slightly below par, they bring a certain magic to the album for my ears, if you get what I mean. It's sort of like Abbey Road, you've got Octopus's Garden. It's not a great song by any means. Neither is Maxwell's Silver Hammer. But they bring a charm. They bring something to the table that's just slightly out there and different, but it works in the concept of the whole album. And that's like those 4 songs I just mentioned then. It's just absolutely brilliant album, and it just works on every level for me. 8.5 out of 10. Now, if I was a big David Bowie fan, I could probably explain this a lot better. I'm just a fan that owns the albums, listens to them. I'm not an expert on David Bowie, so... And that probably shows with my rankings anyway. So at number 4... excuse me. Number 4 on my list. We're going to go to Station to Station, David Bowie. This was his first real masterpiece, in my opinion. It's a real stepping stone between what was previous with his rock, pop, glam sounds to a more sophisticated krautrock, post-punk, electronica, adult-sounding rock. There's only 6 tracks on here. Just love Wild is the Wind, his cover of Wild is the Wind. His vocals really shine through with his whole vocal quality and the strength of his vocals and the tenderness of his vocals on that track. It really doesn't fit in with the rest of the album, but it works again on every level. This is just a great stepping stone to what was to come with Tony Visconti and Brian Eno with the following 3 albums. 9.5 out of 10. Brilliant. Number 3 on my list. We're going to go to the second of the Berlin Trilogy albums, Heroes, as this was the second collaboration with Brian Eno and Tony Visconti. A sonic sound of instrumentals and predominantly non-radio friendly songs. There is nothing on this album that really fitted in with radio at the time. Even to this day, I'm yet to hear a song that even remotely resembles or is similar to the title track Heroes. It's just absolutely... It just sounds alien. It sounds not of this earth. Robert Fripp's guitar sound on it is absolutely brilliant too. Forget Phil Spector. This is a wall of sound on a wall of sound. Absolutely incredible album. 9.5 out of 10. Excuse me. Number 2 on my list, we go to the first of the Berlin Trilogy albums, the first Tony Visconti-Eno collaboration. From the fade-in of the opening track, Speed of Life, you know you're in for something absolutely unique and mind-blowing as it ebbs and flows through Breaking Glass, Sound and Vision, and settles into an almost normal yet strangely kooky, wacky Be My Wife, which just doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the album, and yet it works perfectly on every level. As I said, again with Octopus's Garden, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, it fits. It's got its own little keyhole, and it could only fit in that one position on that album. Just absolutely brilliant. The second half of this album is basically an instrumental album with a few little bits of vocals in between, but it certainly is a what the fuck moment when you first listen to this album. You don't expect post-punk electronica instrumentals on an album of David Bowie. It just shouldn't happen, but it does, and it works exceptional. 9.6 out of 10. So my favourite David Bowie album, not only of this period but of all time, is the third in the Berlin trilogy, the more radio friendly. It's more radio friendly than Low and Heroes, but there's no instrumentals on here, but it's still out there on its own little wavelength for a post-punk era album. There's world music on here with reggae and Turkish styles, there's African beats, there's thrashing krautrock guitars, and his incredible vocal range on songs like Fantastic Voice, Voyage, and The Power on Don't Look Back in Anger. It's just absolutely brilliant in my opinion. Repetition was probably 20 odd years, 25 years ahead of its time. It's a song about domestic violence. Probably doesn't fit lyrically or musically on here with the rest of the album, and neither does Red Money really. But again, it's like those tracks I mentioned previously. They just work, but they shouldn't work. It's just, you just got to hear it to understand it, and once you get it, you get it. It's just absolutely brilliant. This is an album that David Bowie fans either absolutely love or dismiss as being very ordinary or below par. Me, I absolutely love this album, and I probably love it because this was the first David Bowie album I ever got on vinyl. It was a Christmas present from my parents in 1979. They used to buy me things that I probably wouldn't buy. Whether they were doing that to stop me liking music and buying stuff they didn't think I would like, I don't know. But I fell in love with this album. First time I heard it, right from Fantastic Voyage when that started, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. This is his best album of his entire career for me. 9.8 out of 10. Anyway, guys, 17 minutes for 12 albums. That's okay, I guess. But it would be another 20 odd minutes if I was doing the full rankings of his albums. So there you go, guys. Sorry, Mike PC31. I know you've had two coronaries, and your wife's had to use the home defibrillator to get your heart starting again and getting you off the ground over some of my rankings. Probably Richard McCook as well. But hey, I like what I like, guys. I think David Bowie's a fabulous artist, but I've got my own sound, which is obviously that late 70s sound of his that I really like, with Station to Station, Low, Heroes, and Lodger being my favourite albums of that period. Anyway, guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what your list of David Bowie albums of that period are. I'm sure most people will have Ziggy and Diamond Dogs up there, but hey, glad you like them. I don't. I prefer other things you probably don't like. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe, take care. All for now. Catch you around, and bye, folks.